Hey guys, gwyned here, bringing you the finals from Monday Pauper Deck Challenge 18.01. This is between PK23 and Zoltan. Zoltan is playing kind of a classic build of the white weenie deck, and PK23 is playing the brand new Esper Flicker deck that's gotten so much attention. This is a replay, obviously, since, yeah. So anyway, hope you enjoy it. Let's get started. Alright, so looks like PK chose to play first after winning the dice roll. Both kept their 7. PK starts off with a swamp, and Zoltan starts out with a plains. Alright, so PK's already got 2 of his colors. Zoltan immediately drops a Loyal Cathar. Great card, obviously, usually a 2-for-1. The Vigilance is also fairly relevant with a 2-2 body, so just a great little card. Again, just a classic part of White Weenie. So here PK goes ahead and pops the Evolving Wilds and grabs an island and has a plane. So he's already got all his colors, which is pretty good. And he will start off with Phyrexian Rager. Again, pretty classic card in this kind of build. Just allows you to get some great card advantage and get a very relevant 2-2 body. Zoltan immediately has the pacifism for it. Swings in for 2. Doesn't have a follow-up play. PK plays Shimmering Grotto, kind of a necessary evil when you're playing a 3-color deck in Standard Pauper. There just isn't a lot of really good fixing. Once upon a time, we not only had Evolving Wilds, but had Terramorphic Expanse, and then you didn't really need the Shimmering Grottos, but unless you're playing green, this is pretty much something you're going to have to do if you are planning on playing more than 2 colors, at least if you want to have a reliable mana base. Alright, so PK's got a Ravenous Rats here. Was very happy to see this little guy return to Standard. The 1/1 body isn't super relevant, but combined with the ability to make your opponent discard a card is really good. And plus, if you've got any kind of recursion for it, able to bounce or flicker it, it can really be a powerful effect. So let's see, Zoltan chooses to discard a Plains. Alright, certainly White Weenie doesn't need much in the way of mana. And then PK is going to go ahead and burn a Deadweight to take the guy off the board, and then he of course returns as in his zombie form. So he will swing in now, can't block with him. Let's see, if I were PK, I think I would block with the rats, but he may have a bounce effect in hand, and so he looks like he chooses not to do that, takes the 1. And Zoltan is going to go ahead and cast Kimba Skyguard, gain 2. Alright, and PK here is going to go ahead and play out Gryff Vanguard. This is another great target when you're playing Esper Flicker, simply because, you know, a 3-2 flyer is pretty powerful. It does draw a card when it comes into play, and anytime it gets flickered. That's a little expensive for my tastes, and with only a 2 toughness, I find it dies pretty much to everything, and particularly against White Weenie, it's not great because you're spending a ton of mana and you're trading with something they spent 2 or 3 mana on. But, you know, again, if you can flicker it and get some good value out of it, it certainly is worth it. So here, Zoltan will just continue to swing in with everything. This time he is going to block with the rats and trade with the Gryff Vanguard as well. So clear the board out, and Zoltan will follow it up with a War Falcon and a Sky Hunter. Sky Hunter? Yeah, Sky Hunter. Again, this card is not only apparently making a splash in Standard Pauper, but has even come into a lot of Classic Pauper White Weenie builds. A 2-1-for-1 is just really strong. It does require that you play a lot of Knights and or Soldiers to be able to reliably turn it on, but in White Weenie, that's usually not a problem. Alright, so back on PK's turn. Let's see what he's got here. He is playing out a Gravedigger, okay, and returning the Gryff Vanguard, I'm assuming. Yeah, he returns the Gryff Vanguard to his hand, taking advantage of black. Sorry to see this little guy go. After Return to Ravnica comes in, we will no longer have Gravediggers in Standard Pauper. I don't remember not having Gravediggers, so it'll be interesting to see what that does to black builds. Alright, so here obviously no blocks, and PK drops to 11. And Zoltan has no follow-up plays. And here looks like PK's just going to swing back in. Zoltan is still at a very healthy 20, so not much of a race yet here. Interesting that he's playing the Nihil Spellbomb. Not really sure what value against White Weenie you get out of this. It certainly has some value against a lot of different decks, but other than the ability to cycle it, I'm not sure he gets a lot of value out of it here. So he'll go ahead and Doomblade the Leonin Sky Hunter, on upkeep, keeping the War Falcon from being able to attack potentially. And he's going to go ahead and pop this Haunted Fengraf and get something back. And as he tries to do so, I guess I spoke too soon. With the Haunted Fengraf, then Spell Bomb is actually very relevant here. So he will cycle the Nihil Spell Bomb, basically make him waste the Fengraf, and go from there. And presumably he might have, so he doesn't even have a follow-up play. So it's looking good for PK here. Can swing in with the Gravedigger. War Falcon could block here. I would be surprised if he did so, yeah. Zoltan's still way ahead on the life gain here, and then he'll just go ahead and PK deadweights the War Falcon, and plays a Mask the Components as well. Interesting, okay. Definitely a very controlling card. Not usually something I'd want to be playing against White Weenie, but, certainly the 3-for-1 and then getting to, throw out a land or something is certainly very relevant. Alright, so he discarded, and puts it in the bottom of the library, right, so you don't even have to discard. Alright, let's see what answers he can find here. So he is going to find a Suture Priest, which is pretty good in White Weenie, although drawing it late isn't as effective because he's not likely to drop a whole bunch of creatures now. Back on his turn, PK's got an Archaeomancer, either returning the Deadweight or the Amass the Components here. He does lose a life because of the Suture Priest. He could get the Deadweight to take care of that. I'm guessing he'll get the Amass the Components though, but I could be mistaken about that. Okay, he went ahead and got the Doomblade. Interesting, okay. And he'll swing in with the Gravedigger here. Okay. Let's see what Zoltan's going to do. No attacks, no spells. And on instep, PK will go ahead and destroy the Suture Priest, freeing him up to be able to cast. Which, if you're going to be blinking creatures, you really don't want a Suture Priest on the other side of the battlefield. So he'll swing in here for 3. Dropping Zoltan to 13, and now the life totals are really starting to even up. And let's see what PK's got here. Another Gravedigger? No. He's replaying the Gryff Vanguard. And drawing a card in the process. Zoltan seems like he may be a little bit flooded. Got a Lawkeeper, which will be helpful next turn. Doesn't do him a lot of good here. And it looks like, okay, so PK has now gone ahead and gotten the combo going. He's going to go and flicker the Archaeomancer. And when this resolves, it'll go to the graveyard, and then immediately this and this will come back into the battlefield. He will get to draw a card off the Rager. He'll lose a life. He will get to retrieve the Ghostly Flicker, and of course get rid of the Pacifism. So, pretty sweet little play there. Those go on the stack, and as you can see, Ghostly Flicker is in the graveyard when this goes before that goes to resolve, and so now he will be able to get that back, and pretty much from now on, anytime, for every 3 mana he's got, assuming he's got a blue to go with it, he can just flicker everything. So he is in solid control of this game. I would really be surprised if Zoltan's able to do anything. Okay, so he does block with the Gideon's Lawkeeper, and now has the Guardian's Pledge to go ahead and kill the Phyrexian Rager. If PK wants, he can actually bounce it right here. See if he chooses to do so. He does. He just goes ahead and flickers, draws another card. Doesn't kill the Lawkeeper, but probably isn't that relevant, and pretty much makes him waste the Guardian's Pledge here. Alright. And then he will follow that up with Ghostly Flickering again, pull a creature out of the graveyard with a Gravedigger, continue to return, and the Ravenous Rats, and then plays the Ravenous Rats, get the last card out of his hand, which is also Plains. And has a Nihil Spellbomb just to keep things nice and tidy. And pretty much nothing Zoltan's going to be able to do here. He'll go ahead and tap the Gryff Vanguard, which, isn't a big deal. So with that, he might have had lethal. I think without it, he doesn't quite have enough. Oh, interesting. And he doesn't attack. Interesting. Okay, so he's got an Attendant Knight, another card that's actually starting to see some play in Classic Pauper as well. Just a nice 2-for-1 body there. Pretty sweet. And the first strike, of course, is very relevant. I'm not sure why PK didn't attack there. It might have just been a misclick. So here we go on the Flicker game. He'll go ahead. Oh, I'd never thought about that, but the Ravenous Rat's ability to keep your opponent from ever drawing another card certainly is something worth noting here. So another great use for that. Zoltan just goes ahead and taps the Attendant Knight here. Oh, and he has a Cloud Shift, and he's going to Cloud Shift the Lawkeeper, so he'll get 2 taps out of it this turn, and he was going to have to discard it anyway, so it was a good play by him. PK goes ahead and does another flicker, and will get rid of the card. Goes ahead and cycles the Nihil Spellbomb just to clear out the graveyard. And again, didn't attack. I'm not really sure what's going on there. Okay, so here we go. So now he's going to go ahead and swing in, and that should be game. 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, yeah. And there we go. So PK won the first one, and I'll see you in a minute for game 2.